Back, we continue right here on the Bordas and Bordas Hotline. Bob Pompeani, Paul Zeise with you. Give us a call, 412-575-2600. You can give us a tweet at Pomp at Paul Zeise. So now Columbus moves on. They'll have some rest. So do the New York Islanders, and we'll wait to see what happens in the Boston-Toronto series, which is interesting right now because that one taken over by Toronto 2-1 last night. Paul, I don't know if you saw the Alex Ovechkin fight they're involved with. First of all, I have a problem with Ovechkin not skating away from that guy. He's a 19-year-old kid, weighs 160-some pounds, and he clearly wanted to fight. Well, Ovechkin, who hasn't fought since 2011 and doesn't fight, knew that he had some easy target there and decided to engage him, which he shouldn't have done, in my opinion, because he's better than that. He's a bigger, just tell him to go away. Instead, he did it, and he knocked him out cold. The kid's having memory issues, apparently, and he's in concussion protocol. He got knocked out unconscious. What's your take on that? Should he have skated away, or should he have done what he did?
You know that saying, Bob, if you mess with the bull, you're going to get the horns?
But the bull doesn't fight ever. The bull refuses to fight.
But the bottom line is,
don't
mess with a guy if you don't want to get knocked out. I mean,
he's 19 years old, Paul.
I don't care.
I wouldn't have done it.
Don't go mess with a guy if you don't want to get knocked out. I mean, to me, I'm just saying, it seems pretty simple to me. Again, Ovechkin doesn't fight in this net player, and he's not afraid to throw his body around. And he's a guy I probably wouldn't want to mess with if I was a 19-year-old kid.
All right, Evgeny Malkin after the game said that the Islanders wanted it more. They were hungrier. Is that a good enough thing to say? I mean, maybe they were, but should that be a reason why you lose?
A lot when a team loses a series, or whatever, but I really think the Islanders just played smarter.
They did.
And they played, they made less mistakes. That's really what it comes down to. The Penguins
capitalized on the mistakes.
And the Penguins gave them too many opportunities because they made mistakes, and the Islanders didn't.
All right, let's go out to the lines. A lot of people want to talk. We got Tim in South Park. Tim, welcome to the Sports Call. Go right ahead, sir.
Hey, Bob. Hey, Paul.
Hi.
It's stale, Bob. Things are stale with the Penguins. If Gretzky can get traded, what are your thoughts on
trade Crosby? I can tell you that. I don't know about other guys, and maybe it depends on Jim Rutherford. And keep in mind, Jim Rutherford does not like what he saw. I know that for a fact, and he's not been afraid to make trades. So, if he has the total confidence of the ownership, I don't know what he'll do, but I know he won't trade Crosby and shouldn't trade Crosby.
Yeah, I understand that's the face of the franchise, but there are guys that need to go.
Well, they need change. I agree with that.
Letang, there are several key guys that need to be removed, I think, at this point.
All right, thanks for the call. Let me ask you about that, because some of these guys, in fact, all of them have some sort of a trade clause, whether it's limited, whether it's more than that. That makes it even more difficult. So what's your take on what they need? Stale is a good word, because it has become stale, I think.
I think that they're going to have, this is the last that we've seen Phil Kessel in the Penguins uniform, right?
He's the most likely, but he does have a big contract.
Yeah. I mean, I would think he would be a guy that would be a candidate to trade. I don't know that you're going to trade Letang, because what are you going to get for him, given all his health issues and all the, I know he's coming off a good year, his age, his contract, all his health history. I don't know that you're going to get a ton for him. I think he's the kind of guy you probably stay and hope that he has another good year next year. I've heard people talk about trading Malkin. I wouldn't hate it. I'd have to know exactly what you're getting back for him.
Absolutely.
But you're not going to trade Crosby. You're not going to trade Gensel or any of those younger guys. So to me, and you're not going to trade Murray. So the three guys that you look at if you want to trade a big guy, so to speak, Kessel, Letang, or Malkin, I don't know if Letang is really tradable. So you're really talking about Kessel and Malkin.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, certainly they're going to make change. I think they need to make change. What it is, we'll find out. Again, there's a lot that goes into all of these decisions because of these.
Isn't the first thing they need to do is figure out who they want to be and how they want to play? Because Mike Sullivan is still trying to play the way he was playing 2 or 3 years ago when he had a lot of fast guys and they were the fastest team in the league, and they're not that anymore.
Let me say that. Maybe he's not emphasizing that as much. I think the players think that. I think you cannot get them to not believe there once. Again, it explains what's going on with this constant pinching. I don't think Mike Sullivan is telling guys to pinch at every cost. Geno Malkin tonight at the blue line, crossed the zone, started to dangle. He stopped, and all of a sudden gives the puck away. It led to a 2-on-1, which became a 3-on-2. They didn't score there. But again, I don't think that's being coached. I think that's his choice.
Right.
And just as it is when you get on the power play and you overpass on the perimeter. There are things that you cannot do, especially against a team like that.
But they have to acknowledge that they're no longer the fastest team in the league or anywhere close to
Well,
it.
they made it a league-wide copycat
Right,
situation.
exactly. And there's a lot of teams that play with. I mean,
Right.
the Islanders, we talk all about their trap and their goaltender and all this other stuff, but they were also faster than the Penguins. It was easy to see.
And I'll tell you this, though. If it is an end of this particular window, this run, you have to applaud what the Penguins have been able to do. I mean, if you had said that they would get to 13 straight playoffs, that they'd win 3 Stanley Cups, get to a 4th in the final and lose the way they did at Detroit. I mean, I don't know how much people expect. I always applaud that. I think that's really tremendous stuff. And we'll see how it goes from here, but it should be active off season. We got Kirk in Harmer. Hey, Kirk, how are you?
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Well, that's exactly what I was about to say. My hat's off to Mario and Dave, the general manager, and all the coaches. It's been a great run. I mean, these last 4 years, especially this year and the prior 3, 2 Stanley Cups. Come on. These guys are exhausted. Mario, I'm telling you what, Crosby and Malkin should take a year off. They should rest up their bones because it's a grueling sport. They really they made it this far, and that's amazing. My hat's off to them. I love them. They're great, and they're entertaining, and they're exciting. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Let's go out to Kevin in Regent Square. Kevin, how are you? Welcome to the Sports Call.
Good, Bob. How are you guys doing?
Good. What's up?
I was just curious about what you guys think about Sullivan's future. I think his tenure may have run up.
Not now. Paul, what do you think about that? Not now. I wouldn't do that.
It shouldn't, but it's hockey, so you never know.
But what would you do?
No, obviously he would come back for next year. I mean, I think the biggest thing about it is, there are people saying, well, he didn't do any adjusting and this and that and everything. You know what? Your players have to play at some point. I think Mike Sullivan, if you want me to tell you what I think he did wrong this year, the worst thing he did, he never, ever settled on a lineup. He kept moving guys in and out, stretching guys, putting guys up and down, and nobody really learned how to play together. I mean, that's tough, I think, to win that way.
Yeah, and I will say this about the Islanders, and I will tell me if you think this is a legitimate point. Because Barry Trotz doesn't have to deal with a bunch of superstars already established, 3-time Stanley Cup champions who have gone through a lot together and expect maybe more autonomy on the ice. This is a group, if you look at them, a bunch of no-names. Once they lost Jonathan Tavares, you got a bunch of guys who are young. Not many are well-known around the league, so they were very coachable. They were buying in, and they played his style from start to where they are right now.
Isn't he now, 8-2 in his last 10 playoff games against Mike Sullivan? Barry Trotz?
9-2. I mean, Sullivan also dominated him to start when he was with Washington. It went both ways.
I don't know if he dominated him. They
won
game
series.
7, right?
They each have won 2 series. Let's put it that way.
But I'm saying he's now got the better of him the last 2 years.
Well, what we saw last year, I thought the Capital Series was again prevalent in this one, and again, he has a signature on it. We got to take a break here. 412-575-2600 is the number to call. Give us a shout. We got Wayne, Curtis, Pete, and Jacob on the line. We'll try to get as many calls in as we can right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.